Ladies and gentlemen, we're back.
We're back here on Good Morning Bushwick, here at First Live Studios, 219 Central Avenue in Bushwick, Brooklyn, New York. You know how we do it on this side, man. Throw it up. Just had to toss it up real fast. I don't want to scare anyone. I don't want you guys to see that, think my hands anything. Just had to toss it up one time real fast, you know what I'm saying?
So we already spoke about this on a podcast, on the actual Bud and Roach podcast.
But I think it deserves Good Morning Bushwick recognition also.
Which I have to say, you can find our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, everything.
Stitcher, everywhere. Anywhere you can find a podcast, you can find our podcast right now.
So just a few blocks away from here, last week
Saturday,
we played, and this was my first time ever doing this, in an organized basketball charity event. And yesterday we dropped a podcast on holidays and how giving back, makes people feel good, and we came together for a good cause. But the competition on the court was fierce.
Yeah, I told you when we walked into the gym and I saw, I was led to believe we were going to be paying people a lot closer to our age range, a little older, a little younger, give and take. But I was led to believe that we'd be in the average age range. I want to say we were at the older end of the spectrum of the age group on the court. And it was still a fun game. I told everyone, I was chasing around kids who were younger than me, which is what I wasn't expecting. But anytime I play ball, that's what I end up doing. And that's why I like to play ball and just sometimes go to a random park in the summer and end up having to chase kids around because it's a good workout.
At any point, did you feel so fatigued that you wanted to be taken out of the court?
Oh, my first time up and down because I haven't played ball in about 3-4 months, really. Like actual full court, up and down basketball, maybe more than that. And the first time up and down, I felt it.
When it comes to organized basketball, and I believe we mentioned this on the last podcast too, you won a city championship.
Yes, sir.
Now, going back to those days, how would you compare your experience on a team that went to a city championship as opposed to just a group of guys getting together and becoming a team for the first time?
First off, when you're a team, you already know each other's tendencies. You know the way each other play. You know the way a person likes a pass to be received, where that person wants the ball, that person's favorite spots on the court to get a shot up, where that person prefers to be when they're putting their shot up, if that person wants to work in an isolation game, if you and that person can work a good pick and roll. There were people who I could work an amazing pick and roll with, and there was other people who I would just set the pick to get them freed open and then let them work. And I would fade and I would roll out. Instead of rolling to the basket, I would fade the other way just because they worked better getting me screening and them open. And it's just when you play on a team, you know that stuff with people. When you're just picking up and playing with people for the first time, just getting together it's a lot tougher. And that's why you have what we had in the second half where we had that big lead evaporate because everyone was playing solo ball and no one was really,
There was a lot of people trying to be superstars on the court.
We had, I feel like it's any time you play pickup ball, everyone's on the court trying to be the Kevin Durant, the LeBron James, the Russell Westbrooks, the James Hardens, the superstars.
Trying to get a poster.
Yeah. I think one of my favorite things when I play ball is really playing the team game. And anyone who plays with me knows I'm not looking to jack up bad shots. And, I'm looking to, keep a good shot going. I don't care who puts it up as long as it comes in the floor of the offense and the floor of the game. Everybody's involved. I don't care who puts the shot up. As long as everyone's involved. It's not one person down, first shot up. No one else touches it.
Now, for years, you've been saying that you wanted to put together some sort of organized sporting event. I remember you were saying flag football for a long time.
I want to put together an actual flag football league still. It's something I still want to do. I still need to look. I've looked into the permits. It's just the length of time and the windows for it with my work schedule has made it harder. But I think I need to look into that more because it's always been a dream of mine to, run my own sports league. You know how much I love sports. That's one of my favorite things about sports games now is that when I play it, I feel like I'm the owner of said team that I'm using in the sports
Is this why
game.
there's such a huge just following for fantasy sports?
For fantasy sports?
You've been on that fantasy shit for years already. And I see you, the last time we was recording, you was in a chat argument with people over fantasy sports shit.
Oh, yeah. there was some fantasy football fallout in my in one of my fantasy leagues. I play in 2 fantasy football leagues. And actually, I had took a long break from it. I took like I'll say 8-9 year break from it because I got annoyed with the one league I was in. I was just like, I'm just not doing it anymore. And then I stopped. And then my brother a few years ago was like, yo, we're putting together a league with some other people. You want to get in? I was like, I don't know. And then we were there with one of our buddies, and he talked me into it. And I was like, fuck it, I'll play. I haven't done it in a while. Let's have some fun. And the buddy who talked me into it is the one who actually, he got really upset. And it's like, listen, no rules were broken. I know you feel like, gamesmanship, integrity. No one broke any rules. The trade.
You gotta explain to me how it fucking works.
All right.
Because I still don't
So what you do with fantasy football is essentially when you play fantasy football, any fantasy sports, are you and the group of people in your league will draft your teams. Essentially, how me and Lorenzo do when we play our games. You pick the players you want, and there's a formula for how these players will produce. And you have to put each week you put a lineup of your players out. In football, it's a lineup of I want to say 9 or 10.
So wait, when you're talking about players going against each other and you picking your teams, there's no actual game that's being played with these players. You're basing your stats on real life performance.
On real life performance in the games they're playing in that week. So
fantasy football could only happen during
football season. They have fantasy baseball, fantasy basketball. I don't know if they have fantasy hockey.
So if a player gets injured, and you have him on your team,
some leagues have an injured reserve. If your player is not injured for a long time, you can put him on injured reserve so you don't have to drop him. If he's not injured for a long time and you don't want to drop him, you can just lose that roster spot and keep him on your roster, which I had to do earlier this season.
But how do you
on one of my teams? Each week, the stats the players put up are formulated, and they get a certain number of points. I play in a PPR league, which is called points per reception. So each time a receiver or running back, tight end, anyone catches the ball, that's at least 1 point. The quarterback, every 4 yards, or I think it's 8 yards, is 1 point.
A
touchdowns
quarterback
count.
Meaning the actual player, not the team that he's on.
Nah,
so if a second string quarterback came in and did all these passes, that
doesn't count unless you have that guy and he's on your starting and he started in your lineup. So it's I can explain it more to you. You would get it after a while, after a little bit, but it's fun. It's fun. It was it's a lot of gamesmanship.
And when does it end? It ends at the Super Bowl?
No, it ends at the end of the regular season. The playoffs start, I think, week 13 of the regular season. Fantasy football playoffs start, and by the last season of the NFL season, it's over.
And in these leagues that you play in, is it a cash prize?
Yeah, we all one league was $100 buy-in, the other league was a $50 buy-in. I believe that both
everybody
winner
put
takes
that money in a pot, and if you got 10 people, that's $1,000 that you win at the end of it.
And the other one, it's the $500, and winner takes all of that.
It's interesting shit, bro.
Yeah,
because I see how addicted you are to the shit.
Oh no, I was more upset. I conked out in my in the suicide pool last week. I was more upset at that. I was at work and no one had any context of what was going on. And my boss during intermission let me stand there with a guest and watch the NFL Red Zone, because if the Packers would have lost, everyone else playing would have lost, and I would have gotten to stay in because we all would have lost, and I would have survived the round. But because the Packers decided to fucking hang on and win. So
you already lost?
I had already lost, but because of the way everything was breaking out, everyone else had lost. We had all, like, with a suicide pool, you pick one team to win each week. Once you pick that team, you can't pick them again that season. You just have to pick one team to win each week, and you have to pick that game right. If not, you're done. And so however many people, whatever the buy-in is, and once you lose, you can buy back in one more time, but after that, you're done.
And shit like FanDuel, that puts you with the entire world?
Yeah, that puts you with the entire world. I don't do FanDuel or the other one.
But isn't it a bigger payday?
Yeah, but that's just...
It's impersonal.
Yeah, I don't like that one. I've actually never tried that one. So...
This is interesting shit. I saw a plugin. It was like a WordPress plugin to create a fantasy league. So let's see if we start something like that.
Yeah.
I think that'll kill some time.
Yeah, we could do something like that. I mean, we definitely veered off topic a bit there.
No, it's still relevant.
So
It's
yeah,
still about sports.
yeah, it's still about sports, right?
How much time we got left on it? We still got some time left on this one. But the one thing that I don't like about the fantasy league is that, unlike wrestling, which is a continued 365-day a year shit, you have these seasons. I've seen fantasy leagues that were dedicated to wrestling, and to me, that I would get into.
I'd love to know how that would go. Fantasy league dedicated to wrestling. How would that
Because
go?
right now, it seems like because kayfabe is dead, now they're going extra hard and keeping the secrets as to who's winning the matches and shit like that. Remember back in the day that Nook would have all the spoilers,
Yeah, you sometimes know somebody was going to drop a title.
so you would know Mankind.
You would
and
have
about the rules.
who was the dude who used to do in about to say WWE on in Daily News, the Slammer, the guy he would do
Daily
it every
News?
yeah, he had a wrestling like column in the Daily News every Friday or Saturday. I can't remember his name, and he would talk about a lot going on, man. And sometimes you would get information there beforehand. Like I can't remember his name, but
So
he had
now-
a small wrestling thing in
Like
the Daily
I
News.
heard that mid-match, Undertaker was supposed to beat Lesnar at WrestleMania, and he got injured.
He got hurt. He got hurt in the middle of the match and told Brock, "Yo, I can't go on. You got to finish me."
So
Like they said he got hurt early on. Like he just took a bad fall on his head. And if you look at the like the video of that fight, like Taker looks out of it. Like after like the first minute, they say he had a real bad concussion.
So when you see Paul Heyman's reaction, not even he knew this shit was gonna happen. That was a call they made in the ring. Shit like that, that's where the fantasy league comes in.
Yeah,
Because if you bet it on Lesnar, then you won a lot of money. Everybody was going in there thinking Taker was gonna win.
oh yeah. Nobody thought Taker was gonna lose that to Lesnar. I think everyone thought that it was gonna be set up for Taker to win. Like eventually Taker was gonna lose at WrestleMania. I just thought it'd be to someone like a Sting or someone.
Someone like at Taker's level.
Yeah.
Because Sting is literally the Taker of WCW.
Yeah, that's it. And it really, like, what I was reading was it was setting up for them to do that, was for that to happen in a few WrestleManias down the road, if not the next one after that. But that happened, and that happened. They even said, like, they had to scrap together that graphic real quick when Lesnar
The
won.
21-1,
22-1 or whatever.
I think it was 21-1.
Yeah, 21-1. Oh.
It was supposed to be 22-0.
Yeah, and they said like they had to just scrap that together real fast because it wasn't supposed to happen, and it's just crazy to know that.
That's a great moment in wrestling, bro. And those are the moments that I think are going to impact the fantasy league that we're going to create.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you know the wheels are spinning already, bro. So with that one, we want to toast to you guys one more time. Have a fantastic day here in Bushwick.
Yes, sir.